Welcome back to NK Gaming Adventures. I hope you guys are all doing well today. We are back in my garage. Now today, we are going to take a look at two different vehicles. This rat, or also, if you want to call it a BMW, has been around for a while. It's seen some use, as you see here. We're going to start to work on this BMW and see what kind of work it needs. Obviously, we can tell pretty visually it's going to need quite a bit of work, especially quite a bit of body work. It's going to take a lot of work to get this thing back to looking good and pristine again. So this is going to be a big upcoming project for the garage. First off today, I want to tackle this pickup truck here. Now, I bought it a little while back from another pretty well-known YouTuber known as Funkle88. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of Funkle88. Fantastic guy. He does fantastic content. And I bought this truck from him. He had it on one of his series a little while ago. Not long ago. I bought it from him. I've been doing some driving around with it and this and that. So I suspect it has a few issues because I've drove it around some. And so we're going to take this scanner here, scan it, and see what comes up to help us diagnose our problems a little more. I don't use this scanner a lot. It can be considered a little bit more of a cheat, but, I don't see the harm in using it here and there. So let's go here and scan it. All right, and then let's open up here and see. Okay, diagnosis results, if I can speak. Engine components worn. Okay. Spark plugs. Okay, so we got some spark plugs. So, okay, that's good to know. Timing chain. Okay, wow, timing chain is going bad. So that's what might be giving us some problems with the running, maybe, of the engine. Maybe starting. And the flywheel, I've noticed too, it's had maybe some shifting issues. That's what was my two things that was making me think that there was some stuff going on. Maybe the spark plugs have something to do, obviously, with it getting combustion, right? Starting up. So that all makes sense from what I was experiencing with this truck driving it around. So that's good to know. Other worn components, bumper and pedals. Okay, no ruined parts, so that is good to know. So we have some engine and transmission problems with this truck. So yeah, this OBD scanner is pretty handy. So let's take it back in here. We actually might use it on the BMW too. So I'm not sure. We'll just throw that there. I'm not quite sure yet because this car is going to need a whole lot of work. The engine, though, doesn't look too bad. But let's get back over here. This truck is first on the list because this is a kind of an everyday driver right now. So, wow. And it said we had a worn front bumper and some pedals. Okay, well, let's go grab our wrench out of here. Let's see if we can get to doing some wrenching. I don't want to buy any parts yet because I don't know exactly what we need or how bad this stuff is worn. But definitely the engine stuff we're going to replace. If we're going to tear the engine apart, which we're going to have to tear a good part of the engine apart to get to the timing chain, yeah, it's going to be worth replacing that stuff. So let's get these pedals out and see what they are. 31%, yeah, let's replace those. And then I think it said, what's it? Front bumper, I want to see. Yeah, bumper front. Okay. I just wanted to make sure again before I took the time to pull this bumper off. Now, on another side note, guys, besides the car work we're doing right now, I know I haven't posted a lot lately. Yeah, I don't know the front bumper here. It says it's worn. I don't know what percentage it would be, obviously. It looks fine to me. It might not be... Yeah, I don't think it's exactly straight. Look at it. But hey, it's an everyday runner that I'm using this truck for. It's just fine. You can't really tell. But yeah, like I said, I know I haven't been posting a lot lately. Part of that is because, as I've said in a couple of my previous videos over the last couple weeks or so, that I haven't felt well. I've been having some health issues and just haven't felt well. And I'm still going through some things and probably will be for a while. So, you know, being completely honest with you guys, and I like to be completely honest with you guys and upfront because that's just how I am. You know, content may be kind of hit or miss for the next foreseeable future. You know. So, just letting you guys know that, you know, I do apologize. And I also want to take the time to thank all my new and recent subscribers. And what has really caught me kind of, you know, kind of pumped up and kind of excited and really surprised is over the last couple of weeks I've gained subscribers, right? And not a whole bunch of subscribers, but that's fine. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. But even not putting out much content for the last couple of weeks, I've been gaining subscribers. So that's pretty cool. So that tells me that I'm on the right track, doing the right things. YouTube is liking my content. It's pushing my content out to people. More people are finding my content. And they are subscribing. So that must mean that people are liking my content. So, hey. That's awesome. That is great. So, yeah, guys. Thank you very much to all my subscribers. You guys are all great. And just know that content may be a little slow for the foreseeable future. You know, at times I might pick up the content and put out more content, and then there may be times where it's slow again. So, you just keep that in mind. Hopefully you guys stay around and stay with me, and you don't get upset over that. So, hopefully you guys understand. You know, that's all I hope. So, and hope you guys are enjoying the content, of course. So, let's get back to work. So now the big issue is getting this engine and transmission back up to tip-top shape. So now that we got the pedals in there, you know what? I think the best thing to do is... I think this truck may fit in the shop, possibly. It may. Let me see if I can push this car back a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, the brakes hardly work on it. the parking brake hardly works on it. So it moves fairly easy. Things seen are wrought for life, like I've said. Let's jump into this thing. I don't know. We might be too tall to get it into the garage. I have not had it in the garage. We can't. We'll just have to work on it from the outside, but it may help if we... Yeah, we got it in there. Help if we got it maybe up on the lift. Thing just wants to go forward. It's a game thing, you know? It just doesn't like to stop sometimes. Alright. So let's see if that'll work. Like I've said in the past before, the B200 is... Let's try to move it back a little bit so I can get out. I was caught there on the post there. I couldn't get out. The B200 can be a little tricky getting up onto the rack. Or the two-post lift, or whatever you like to call it. I call it all kinds of stuff. Okay. So let's see if we can get it up in the air. I think that's our best bet to work on the transmission stuff and get that flywheel. Yeah, because I think it was our flywheel, right? So we're going to have to take apart the whole transmission to get the flywheel out. Yeah, the B200 can be tricky getting it up here on this lift, so like I said, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Are we... Yeah, the truck, I think, is shifted. Maybe when I was trying to get out. Yeah, I think it shifted a little bit. Maybe if I move it a little that way. A little bit too much. I don't want to mess with it too much. You know, take too long to mess with it. Let's raise it up a little bit and see if it... Yeah, see, it does that too. That it's just... Maybe I need to go a little forward with it. Let's see how that goes. If not, and it still does it, it needs to come forward more. We actually might pull these in a little bit. Work a little better. Something like that. It's not great, but like I said, the B200 is kind of a pain to get up here on this lift. But it is what it is. It should do. If it falls off, we're gonna have issues, and it's not sitting. It's not sitting right. But like I said, already, I don't need to say it again. We need to go up a little more. I'm getting caught on the truck. Oh, we must be up already. Yeah, see, I can't even... there's a reason why I don't like putting it up on the lift. This is just pretty much a waste of freaking time. Waste of freaking time. Seen it moved it over here more. This two-post lift can be absolute garbage. Just move these a little bit back. I don't know. We'll end up doing something like that, but let me just get in here and get these bolts undone, and then I need to get the wire to the starter undone. And then we'll have to get the transmission bolts underneath on the transmission mount. And then it should come out. Oh, and then we'll have to get the drive shaft. See, that's much better now. Much better. Still can't get underneath. See, it won't let me stand up any more than this. And I can't even reach those bolts because I'm down so far. No, it won't. There we go. But when I go back here, I won't be able to go back here. Yeah, I think what you guys are seeing here is using a little cheat here because I'm getting it's a little ridiculous. I think what you guys are seeing here is Don't use the 2-post lift on the B200. Just save yourself time. Just save yourself time. Alright, so we got the gearbox. Gearbox looks pretty good. Starter must have been pretty good because it didn't show up as being worn or anything. Yeah, see, I want to get this down here, but it's not going to let me. Yeah, this was a completely bad idea. Yeah, don't put the B200 up on this lift. Just don't do it. It's an absolute waste of freaking time. Waste of freaking time. Okay. Let's now... Well, that's not going to work either, is it? Because the truck's lifted. These are the heavy duty. And those aren't... Obviously, as you see there, they don't do anything. Sometimes the best way to work on these trucks is, you know, it's cheating. This is not going to help, I don't think. It's kind of cheating in that, but using the no-clip mod and just getting underneath of there, like I just did. Let's see if this will work here. This will raise it up right here. Go back a little bit further. I forgot you don't need to put this low jack down all the way. You can move it at any point when it's up. It's not like the base game jack, because it's a lot better than the base game jack. Alright. Now that actually took absolutely forever, and I still can't get underneath of it. Alright, well, the only other option is cheat and use no clip. Because we're just wasting time here. I mean, there's really nothing else to do. I mean, to get under these B200s because they're so poorly, they got such poor collisions underneath of here that should have been removed a long time ago, and they're not because, you know, we don't need to go into that. Got into that before. Alright, so there's our flywheel. Nice. Got our flywheel out. Now, if you want to put the cars on this lift, they don't have the collisions underneath like the B200. You're good to go. You're good to go with the cars. But as far as the B200, nah. Keep it off the 2-post lift. If you don't have a lifted B200, you can use the heavy-duty jacks and get underneath of there for the most part. It's fine. You can get underneath of there. You can find ways. But this 2-post lift is just awful with it. With the B200. Alright. Let's get us a flywheel. Yeah, I was for the BAV8. I bought the right one. Okay, good. Just making sure. Okay. Where'd my wrench go? I know this isn't realistic, but, you know, we got to do what we got to do. The clutch plate is fine, 73%, but I'm debating on whether to 52%. That's still some life left in it. We'll put it back. And really, it's not hard to get to pull the transmission off. Getting down into the internals of the engine for the pistons and stuff like that, and the crankshaft, Yeah, that's a little bit of a pain, because there's so much to pull off, and if it was something like that, yeah, I'd replace it. But let's tighten those up. These back up. We can go work on it up here. Come around to the other side. Bolts over here and the starter wire. And we are good. We are golden. Put this guy back down. Yeah, this low jack works pretty dang awesome. I don't even bother buying the base game jack because it's... I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not good. So now, I think all we have then at this point, right, is timing chain and spark plugs. So let's pull our wires off. Put them on the table over here. No, we're going to have to obviously go through our spark plugs and see which three. I think we had 3 that were bad. We're going to have to pull the timing chain off. So we're going to have to take apart basically the whole front of the engine. Probably going to have to refill the coolant, possibly. I'm not sure. Pop off there, bud. There we go. Our fan. Let's turn some light on because it's already getting dark. We might have to pull off our alternator. Let's pull off our pulley and our harmonic balancer. What was that at? 88%. That's good. Yeah, we're going to have to pull off our alternator. Oh. Why it won't come off is because I got to undo my alternator battery wire, or alternator wire. Not alternator battery, but alternator wire. I don't know if we're going to have to take off our fuel pump, but we are going to have to take off the water pump. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that means we're going to have to refill our coolant, which is not obviously the end of the world, but there we go. There's our water pump. Still looking pretty good. 58%. It's still decent. It's not good. It's not bad. But it's not at the point yet where we need to replace it. Yeah, we're going to have to pull that off, aren't we? The fuel pump. Not that big of a deal. We'll just set that on the floor there, and then our timing chain cover off on the floor. It's pretty new still. And then we're going to have to pull off our timing chain. This is the guy that we need to replace. 30%. All right. Well, let's grab that flywheel that's there. Let's grab ourselves a timing chain. Or the V8 engine. $172.50. Install that guy. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. It just takes forever to pull things apart and put back together. It's kind of in a way how it is sometimes in real life. Fuel pump back on. There we go. And then let's grab our water pump. 5 bolts for the water pump. 3. We got 2 more. 4 and 5. Look, Ma, I can count. All right, alternator. Let's throw on the fan here. Fan or belt. I was gonna say fan belt, which it is a fan belt. Now we need our spark plug puller so we can have a look at our sparky plugs. Oh, nope. That one looks good. I'm looking at the ends here. You see like the part that comes out like the hook, the J part of it. That area, and that is usually like a darker color, like it looks like it has some corrosion in that on it, if they are bad. That one still looks pretty good. So let's tighten that guy back down. Actually, we'll just loosen all those up so they're loosened. Let's take a look at this guy. Oh, that one's already fouled up. It's further away, but yeah, you can tell it's fouled up. 30%, so yeah, that would be bad. That one looks bad too. You can just look at them, you know, and see. Yeah, that one's even... See if I can get closer for you guys. See how the other one I pulled out? It was all... The hook and everything here was all clean. It wasn't dark like that. It wasn't, you know, like kind of that black color, like it's all fouled up and bad. And you see these right here? They are. Is this one going to be... No, that one looks... No? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so that might... Those might be our 3. Because it said there was 3 of them. Now what I'm going to do is replace these. And then... We're going to run our OBD scanner again and see if any more spark plugs or any more problems come up. So then I don't necessarily have to pull out the other 4 spark plugs on the other side. But hopefully nothing else is bad with our ride. And our engine's back to tip-top shape. And transmission. Alright, let's grab our spark plug wrench. Let's tighten these up. Throw on our wires. And then I think we need some coolant. Well, the coolant's showing pretty good, so we're just going to go with it. We're going to go with it. The hood down. Let's push this back a little bit so I can get in the door easier. Let's hop up into here. Make sure she starts up. She starts up. started up good, running good, so I would say we have it all put back together. Let's run the OBD scanner again, and let's see if it clears out. So, should still have the same diagnostics as before, as you see here, of the worn components. Let's run it again and see what it says now. It should have cleared everything. There you go. The only other worn components now is the bumper. Bumper F14, or front 14. Yeah, F14. F stands for front. Front 14. What's the bumper still wore, probably. I think that it looked a little bent, a little out of shape, possibly. But that's fine. This truck's basically been an everyday runner. So, that's not a big deal. So, engine components worn. All that stuff now is cleared. So, we fixed it correctly, guys. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that we were certified ASE virtual mechanics? Let's get this out of the garage. My garage. And it's got me zoomed all the way out, because that's what it loves to do. Just fits in the door. Parker back over here. Yeah, just an absolutely beautiful ride. Two-tone paint job by no other than the man Funko88 himself. If you guys do not know who Funko88 is, go check him out. You can easily search his name on YouTube. He'll come right up. Why? Because he's one of YouTube's finest. He does a lot of My Garage and Farming Simulator content. Farming Simulator 25. And he does mostly roleplay stuff. He's one of the best out there when it comes to roleplay, in my opinion. I'm not just saying it. He really is. And I tell you what, from a person, myself, that does not edit well, and I've tried to teach myself how to edit better, and it's just hard for me to understand and pick up editing, video editing, that is. He is an absolute to me. From what he does for his editing, his scenes and fast-forwarding scenes and adding music and all that stuff. I mean, this guy knows his stuff, especially when it comes to video editing. I've tried to pick it up, but I have a hard time with video editing. And that's the real reason why that most of my videos are, a lot of it's unedited. So, yeah. I even have a hard time using what I use for my video editing. I use DaVinci Resolve to even get transitions in between things, in between clips. But let's go to sleep here. I'm going to keep an eye on that coolant. I would have thought that coolant would have went down. I mean, we took the water pump and everything off there. I would have thought our coolant would have went down, and it's not really... It's down a little bit, but it's not down to where you really need to worry about filling it yet. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see. Let's run the scanner on this thing. Since we're using the scanner, why not? I mean, I played this game enough. I know how to do things and everything, so it's just... Now, I will say, now that I say that I know how to do things, I will be completely transparent with you guys. Because that's how I am. Like I said, you guys know it. You guys know it. I believe that's the only way to be. Completely 100% transparent and open and up front. That's the best way to do it. Honesty is the best policy, right? Well, when it comes to the rats, this car here, or the Wolves, which are modeled after the Mercedes. The Wolves and the Mercedes, as you guys know, I don't do a lot of. I don't work on those cars in this game much at all. You guys know this. So they are the two cars in this game that I know by far the least amount. Okay, and they have these two cars between the Wolf and the Rat. They individually have a lot of extra parts with trim and all kinds of this other stuff that the other cars in this game do not have. So they do make them a little more trickier to know if you have the whole car put together, if you have all the parts, right? So, especially with the suspension underneath too, because the suspension is almost overly complicated on these two cars. That if you haven't worked a lot on these cars, you don't know a lot about them. So, it's hard to know if you have everything put together right. So, this car, even though I say I know basically almost everything there is because I've put in enough hours into this game that I just know now how things go, I will say, with a little asterisk, that's not exactly quite true when it comes to these Rats and the Wolves, because I just don't simply work on them much. I like a lot of the American style cars in this game. I like the B200, even though I complain about the collisions underneath. I just like my trucks and my American cars. Why? Because I am American. That's why. It makes sense, right? Not that I don't like the other cars. That's what I prefer. Just like anyone that plays this game, they have the cars that they prefer, correct? Correct. So, having said all that, this one might be a little tricky for me. And you guys may have to help here and there. If I miss something, just be like, hey, you missed this. You know, I'm like, hey, I'll look into it and they'll say, yeah, hey, I missed it or whatever, Don't just say I missed something just because you think it's funny and you want me to, think that I missed something. If I really missed something and I did, tell me. Because odds are I probably didn't realize I did. So, especially when it comes to this Rat here in front of us that we're going to be working on. And especially a Wolf. I do have a Wolf coming up. Actually, I'll show you guys that right now. I believe the Wolf is just basically a shell. It was a free car that you can go, you can find the free cars sitting around the map, right? That you can get for free. And they're basically usually just basically shells. This is it right here. This guy right here, this Wolf, it's just a shell. And let me tell you what, we're going to do this one at some point too, this Wolf. So, yeah. Got some tricky things coming up soon. This truck also, as it moves on its own, things just move on their own. This truck here I want to do too. I actually bought this truck at least a couple months back. In real time, in real lifetime. I bought this truck a couple months back. And I've had it just been sitting around. This car's actually been sitting around probably for a good month, too, at least. Actually, this truck I actually probably bought. I bought this truck from the junkyard. As it sits, I just liked how it looked. I did a little thing here because I was testing out to see how the base game welder worked, filling the holes there, and that's why it looks like that there. So, I guess it isn't completely in its 100% form when I bought it from the junkyard because of that. So, I take that back. But, yeah, everything else you see there, that's how I got it from the junkyard. It's probably actually been more than 2 months ago I actually bought it. It's probably more like about 3 months ago. And this one I've had for at least a month in real time. Maybe about a month and a half. But, yeah. And then you saw the video that we did this one on. You guys remember that video? But yeah, pretty soon we're going to try to work on that Wolf. So I'm going to try to do some more challenging things, and that Rat and the Wolf for me are more challenging. So in this game, just because I haven't worked on them a lot, doesn't mean I don't like them. I do like them. It just, I know the least amount about them. So yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. So let's get this car scanned finally. And we're standing around talking for the last 10 freaking minutes. So let's scan it. Bring this up. Diagnostics. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. Dude, there's even a scroll bar over here to scroll through all the... Oh, no, it doesn't go that far down. But okay. But still, you got to scroll down to see what's engine components were. Look at all that. Everything in the engines is basically war, or most of it. Pistons, yeah. Clutch plate, crankshaft pulley, head gasket, ventilator. Oh man. Spark plugs, camshaft. Yeah, both camshafts, dual overhead cams. Well, that's not true. Can't run because of missing pistons. There's a missing. This car just ran. I just ran this car not long ago. I pulled it up to the shop when I bought it. Yeah, I bought this car over at the used car dealer. I pulled it around from the used car dealer right over here, and it ran. Brake problems, bad fuel lines, low brake. It's crazy to see how much is bad from the used car dealer. Usually, I don't think the used car dealers are usually the car this bad. I could be wrong, but I didn't think the used car dealers sold cars that were this bad. I know they've sold some pretty bad things, but with all this wrong with it, I knew that there was a lot wrong with it, but I didn't think it was all this wrong. But that's all right. Hey, no problem. We'll fix it up. Brake problems, bad fuel lines, low brake fluid level. Well, we've seen that the master cylinder was, I think, pretty much empty. Bad brake disc, bad brake pads. Okay. So obviously it has bad brakes, which I already told you it did because I knew that. How did I know that? Because I pulled it over here from the used car dealer and the thing had like virtually no brakes. Ruined. Crankshaft is ruined. Okay. And then piston is ruined. Oh, maybe because it registers a ruined piston with a missing piston, maybe? I don't know if that's how the game recognizes that. I'm not sure. Ruined steering rack. Tie rods, man. All the suspension. All the brakes that are bad. Ruined. Yeah, so here you can see if you haven't used that OBD 2 scanner mod, this is how it kind of breaks it up. I actually had a comment, actually, a couple days ago about the OBD scanner not working. And I kind of tried to walk them through in the comments how to use it, and I did it the same way. I told them how to use it, and yeah, it works. It works just fine. Said something about he couldn't get it to work. I don't remember who the commenter was. I'm sorry if you're watching. I don't remember your name, but yeah, here you see it. You've seen me use it twice, so it works. Actually, 3 times because I scanned the truck twice. Transmission support. Yeah, look at all this stuff. Ruined. See, it breaks it down. Engine, suspension, brakes, and other components. It's really nice. It breaks it all down. It's really nice. Really, really handy mod. Especially if you're into mods. I know not everybody's into mods at all or into mods very little. But if you're new to this game, or trying to figure out this game, because it can be a hard thing to figure out, this game, I mean, and figure out what's wrong with a car, the OBD scanner mod really help figure those things out. And if you're unsure about cars and how to not fix cars, even though it tells you why it won't run, what's wrong with it, you still have to fix it and figure out how to fix it, right? So, yeah, it is a little bit of a cheat, but in a way it's not, because you still have to fix the thing and figure out how to fix it, right? So like it told us here, can't run because of missing piston. Okay, most people know what a piston is, right? Even if you don't know about cars, you know what a piston. You know, you're still going to be like, well, how do I get down in the engine? Pistons in the engine. How do I get the engine apart to get to it, right? You're not going to know that if you're new to cars or don't know how to play this game. So even though it may tell you, you're still going to have to do the work, right? And in real life, mechanics use OBD scanners all the time to help them. So really, some people might consider it a cheat. I necessarily don't. I see it as a tool, like most mechanics do. It's a tool to help you do your job. But all right, I really want to see if this thing won't start. I think it will. We have a little bit of gas in her. Come on, baby. You started over here, did you just take a shit on me now? Sometimes you gotta crank these things over forever for them to start. Look at that. Slowly cranking over, slowly even more. It's getting more tired as you hear it. You hear it slowing down. There it goes. Slower and slower and slower. It's probably because those pistons in that crankshaft are shot. No, our battery's bad too, but, you know, it'd be a battery alternator type of deal, but that's not from our battery alternator. I guarantee you that's from our crankshaft and our pistons. And they're getting more every time they're, you know, getting turned over. Not the proper exact terminology, but, you know, see how... Yeah, she's not going to start, guys. She is not going to start. I drove her over here. She fired up. It took a while for her to crank over, but she started. Not like that long, but, you know. So, all right, well, I think... I don't know whether to start on this thing now or leave it for next time. I mean, obviously, wouldn't get this whole thing done anyways. We're just going to start a pile over here. Everything is just absolutely junk. So, everything's going to end up going bye-bye. So, we're just going to build probably a whole new engine for this thing. I don't know if I'm going to put the i6R back into it. I'm not a huge fan of the i6R. Let me know, guys, down in the comments if you watched here towards the end here, which, you know, if you did, I thank you very much. Now, if you did watch to the end here, let me know what engine in the game, not any modded engines, but any base game engines you would like to see in this car. If it is the i6R that you would like to see me build a new one of and put a new i6R in here, let me know. Or if you want to see a regular i6, you want an i4 in this thing, or you want the big V8, let me know. I think some of these, I could be wrong, but I think some of these, or maybe I'm getting them confused with maybe the Mercedes. I know some of the Mercedes had V8s in them, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if any BMWs had V8s in them. So let me know. But I'm definitely not opposed to cranking up the old horsies in this thing and putting a V8 in there. Actually, that's kind of what I would probably prefer to put in this car. But, you know, let me know. Let me know. I'm not opposed to the... I'm really not opposed to the regular i6 either. You know, the i6, I think, is the most... really, the most underrated engine in this game is just the regular i6, not the i6R, but just the regular i6. I think is kind of the most underrated engine in this game. I think the most hyped and overrated one, of course, is the V8, but you know, the V8 is very nice if you want the extra power and everything. You know, you're gonna go with the V8, right? Because that's what we have. So yeah, guys, let me know what engine you guys want to see in this thing. And we'll come back here next time and get to work on this BMW, or also known as the Rat. Yeah, master cylinder is empty. It is empty, that is for sure. All right, guys, well, I will see you later. If you guys like this video, please leave it a like. If you like my content, like my channel, consider subscribing to me. All your support is greatly appreciated. So until next time, guys, we will see you later.